Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Stamper Podcast. I am your friendly host, Rafaniel Jimerson, and I'm very excited today. I have a very special guest. We have the CEO of Closewise, Tyler Temple, decided to stop by and holler at us today. What's going on, Tyler? Appreciate you for being here
Uh,
today.
Yeah, man, I'm happy to be here. It's good to see you.
Likewise, likewise. It's always a pleasure. We always have great conversations, very productive conversations every time we get a chance to connect. Um, yeah, I wanted to get you on here because first off, very excited for with the work that you've been doing at Closewise and the impact that it's had on my business so far. So I wanted to get you on here because we have a audience of not just mobile notaries but notary entrepreneurs who have aspirations of starting their own signing service. And one of the key things I believe um, in the beginning of your business, being able to have tools that can help you streamline the process. So I
Yeah,
think believe Closewise definitely brings that to the table. Me, when I first started off, I was looking for notaries through like different directories, like Signing Agent, Google profile, looking at Google, going through Google and Notary Cafe, just the most inefficient ways to, find a great notary.
I
Uh,
remember that. Yeah.
but since working with you guys, man, it's been very impactful for my business. So, I want to get right into your story, man. I mean, what led you to get into this notary scheduling space, and what was that aha moment to launch Closewise?
Yeah, well, first off, I appreciate the accolades, man. We work really hard on this, so it's always really nice to hear good feedback. We're working on it every day. Even if you guys don't see changes, like
Mhm.
we're making changes every single day. There's not a day that goes by we're not working on it.
Facts.
Um, but so I became a notary for the first time in 2008, right?
Okay.
So I have a very diverse background. So I was in the military for a little bit, and even before I joined the military, I became a notary.
Okay.
So I always did it as a side hustle, and I started a long time ago before there were platforms, directories. I think maybe a few directories existed way back then.
Mhm. One,
Some
two, three,
company
notary.
like the 123 Notary, I think Notary Rotary might have been around back then, or Notary
Uh-huh.
Cafe. I think
Okay.
was the very first one I ever heard about was Notary Cafe,
Okay.
which I believe is still going strong. I'm not sure what's going on over there, but it still exists.
Mhm.
Um, Started in 2008, became a notary. I was in a small town in North Carolina, just doing loan signings. Somebody introduced me to it, told me about it. I had no training whatsoever. I had a
Mhm.
printer, I had a scanner, and I just basically crossed my T's and dotted my I's until I figured it out. Right. So, as long as you have a little bit of attention to detail, it's not too difficult, and you just gotta have the confidence, I guess, to just go into strangers' houses when you first start.
Mhm.
But started with that, but then I left doing that and I went to the military for a while. Um, Got out of the military and I worked for the Department of Defense for a little while overseas. So
Mhm.
I lived over in Kuwait and Kosovo and Israel for a while. All the while I was still somewhat connected to the business because my brother was in the business as well.
Mhm.
And then after came back to the States, I did a little bit of more education. And then COVID happened. And when COVID happened, I dived fully back into it. So I was actually working, like I said, a little bit of a diverse background. I was working as a pilot, and
Mhm.
then I got furloughed, and then I dived headfirst back into this industry, and the timing was right because of the boom. My brother was deeply connected with the industry, but he was not using any good software or anything either, and that's pretty much where it started.
And that comes the birth of Closewise.
And that was the birth of Closewise. Yeah.
Okay. And so when you started Closewise, were you just working just as a solo notary, or did you have like was graduating to starting your own signing service, or was that process like?
So I was working as a notary, part-time, picking up money, but part-time, I mean, was pretty good money.
Yeah.
And and then I graduated that into a signing service that I ran, and that scaled to a little over a half a million in its first year.
Mm.
And then when I started building Closewise, it wasn't just for me, it was for me and some other companies that I had relationships with.
Okay.
So um when Closewise started to, it basically overtook everything, and I shut that signing service down, just kind of shut it down. Um,
So
yeah,
it's a hard decision to make.
it was not too much. Yes and no, because I started getting really obsessive. When I started working on a project, I get pretty obsessive about it. So I put everything into Closewise, let that fizzle out, and then my primary focus then was just making sure it worked well for the other companies, and it's really hard to do. So building a software from scratch, I remember when I first started doing it, the designs that you see today, I drew by hand, right? So it all started on a piece of paper with a pencil,
Okay.
which is I get it's pretty cool to think back on.
That's a great way to manifest it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a for any entrepreneur out there, I say this to myself all the time. There's a huge gap between your dreams and reality, right?
Mhm.
So always think about that before you start something because it's a super long road.
Absolutely, of course. I want to, before we move forward, man, you kind of, come with, because we moving kind of fast a bit, but you mentioned that with your signing service, you got to a 500,000 in the first year. I'm curious to know, like, what was some of those lessons that along the path to getting a signing service to that mark, which is no easy feat.
Yeah.
Because like I said, there's only a handful of signing service owners within the business. And so if you'll be able to get your business to that, I mean, to that mark, hit that mark, I mean, yeah, what were some of those lessons that you learned along the way?
So it's all about communication, really. Like it starts with communication.
Mhm.
It's availability. Um, any customer out there is going to want to go to the person is a yes person. Right.
Yeah.
So be a yes person, be available. That's why usually some of the best notaries turn into signing services because they don't want to say no, and companies keep calling them because they do such a good job.
Mhm.
So good communication, then having a good quality assurance process to make
Mm.
sure that those documents come back and you check them before your client sees them, because
Yes.
all your reputation is in everybody else's hands. So you
Mhm.
have to have that QC process to make sure that it goes back with your seal on it, your seal of approval.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing.
Got you. Got you. Great insight. Great insight there. Can't put it, can't, man. Speaking of quality assurance, very important, especially when we're doing so many orders. You may come across a notary. You're going to come across 10 great notaries, and all it takes is one bad notary to kind of throw the process out of whack. So it's really important to really hone in on hiring the right people, which leads me to my next question. For those that are unfamiliar, I mean, speak about Closewise, what it is, and and who it's built for.
So it started really small, mostly like the majority of the beginning, it was built for law firms, scheduling
Hmm.
real estate attorneys.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then it branched and opened up to notary. And we're a two-sided marketplace. So it's on one side we have our scheduling systems, which was our flagship, and
Hmm.
that's for signing services and title companies. And we build a lot of features into it that I think are very unique to help people with payroll, check processing, things like that. And then on the other side of it was our marketplace, which is notaries and attorneys. Now, the notaries, as we were building it, also needed features to run their business. So that just kind of progressed over time into what it is now, where you can
Hmm.
launch a full-scale website, have all of your booking tools and payment tools built into it. At first it just started as a place to manage an order. So it keeps evolving.
Got you. Got you. Uh, I want to touch on the scheduling platform piece. One of my the app that I use every single day is one of probably the first things I look into by the time when I get out of bed. So, talk about. I want us to touch on the importance of like streamlining within the business. Because, like I said, in the beginning, very inefficient with my process. Most notaries are not bringing in the kind of volume to justify them to sign up for any of those other signing platforms. And so I think with Closewise, not only is it an affordable option, and I believe it's one the best tool that you can use within for scheduling your signing. So I mean, can we talk about the importance of streamlining within your notary business when it comes to scaling?
Oh, 100%. So, um, here's a story. So when I started as a notary, I was printing confirmations. I was saving them on a folder on my desk. I had a folder for pending, a folder for closed, for an
Mhm.
invoice, for paid, and it was a mess. It was an absolute mess.
Yeah.
I was tracking mileage in a mileage, like a handwritten mileage book. Like it was, it creates a second job, right? Because
Yeah.
if you're an independent contractor, you're the CEO, you're the CFO, you're
Mhm.
the chief everything officer, right? So being able to
Mhm.
consolidate things into one place and make that really easy and streamlined is really important. So when building out the tools in there, we wanted to make sure that every part of that order, whether it's coming through Closewise or not, was made as easy as possible to
Mhm.
integrate. Like with our order uploads, confirmation uploads, order inputs, all of those features are just made to save you time. And it's supposed to be easy enough to do all from your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something that I use as well on my phone as well. So I appreciate you for sharing that. And also, too, I want to also highlight, and this is something that I've been looking into. The cool thing about with Closewise that other platforms don't offer is outside of just doing loan closings for those notary entrepreneurs that's focusing their business on apostille courier services, whether they want to do the fingerprinting or whether if they're doing general notary work. I think Closewise complements those notary entrepreneurs who may not want to who wants to do more than just loan closings.
Oh yeah. So typically notaries are entrepreneurs in general.
Yeah,
Uh, so I mean, we even have people right now that are not doing notary work at all asking us to use the platform. Um, so like if you're out there doing process serving,
yeah.
uh, fingerprinting,
Hmm.
any basically anything under the sun, mobile service, like that, you can use Closewise for it.
Yeah.
Um, it's meant for notary, but notaries that are doing other things can easily add those categories of service to the features. I do want to emphasize though that Closewise has a completely free option. So people can sign up for completely free. There's
Yeah.
free accounting tools in there. Just kind of like a thank you because when notaries sign up, it helps us help people like you, right?
Yeah.
It helps our business clients schedule notaries. But yeah, the features inside of Closewise are not just meant for notary. You can put anything in there and use it to manage the entirety of your entrepreneurship, which is
Good
pretty
stuff.
it's pretty
It's
cool.
pretty good. It's pretty cool stuff. Now,
Yeah.
speaking of features, what would you say is the most underutilized feature that that notaries don't are not really familiar with?
I'd say probably the first one of the first things that they should be using is the confirmation uploads
Hmm.
because your notaries aren't just on Closewise, they're on every platform and they're receiving orders direct and they're receiving orders through their website bookings and all over the place, right?
Yeah.
So being able to take those emails or confirmations to upload them without having to enter all that data,
Hmm.
it can turn a 2-minute session into a 15-second session of consolidating your orders into the software. Um, so that's a huge time saver throughout your day and throughout your week, and it makes sure that you're not missing anything. Because once you've uploaded it and it goes to your dashboard, everything connects to your accounting, your mileage tracking, your notarial log, your
Hmm.
invoicing system, everything is connected. So that's probably the first thing I would say is underutilized. Second thing, I'm not really sure. I think that everything is being utilized, but I think that's the top thing that people should be aware of.
Got you. Got you. Okay. What's I mean, like I said, I know I've been giving you like positive feedback about the business, but outside of me, I mean, what's been kind of the feedback that you've been getting so far with Closewise?
So far, it's been good. We are a newer company. Our biggest
Yeah.
pitfall is the strength of our database, though we have, like I think if you go in there and look, you'll see 128,000 contacts,
Yeah.
right? Verified probably around 30 to 40,000
Hmm.
verified notaries in the system. But our data, we want to get notaries more reviews on the system. We want to help them stand out a little bit better.
Yeah.
There's a few different ways that they can do that, and that's to upload their past work experience. You can import your past work experience if you have kept good records of it. Adding your orders to the dashboard and using even the free tracking tools shows his work experience in the system.
Mhm.
Um, so that's some of the feedback that we're getting, that we're working on trying to make solutions for.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. I mean, since launching Closewise, I mean, obviously, you guys are growing pretty fast, but what would you say have been your proudest your proudest milestone or achievement so far within the company?
I don't think that I'm not one to celebrate. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
you're supposed to celebrate your small wins,
Yeah.
but I feel like that's always a false peak, right? It's because as soon as you get to the top of the mountain, you got another peak to climb to.
Another one to go.
So I don't feel like I celebrate too often because I feel like I've still got there's a saying, it's like eat glass. I feel like I still got a lot of glass to eat. Like
Yeah.
there's always a new hurdle. My favorite, the thing that makes me the happiest though is when people are happy about the product, right? So
Mhm.
when it helps you, or today I did a few calls, I had one lady, we launched her a website and she started to cry. We
Mm.
that we made it really simple to do. Like you can launch a website in Closewise in 20 minutes,
Yeah.
and have your whole business set up for a absolute fraction of the cost of anywhere. And when I see that makes people happy, that makes us happy.
And that's great to hear because for the longest time, especially like in our space, like in the notary industry, it's been pretty difficult to find like a platform that just gives you like an all-in-one, but specifically for notary. Like there's platforms out there to where it's like catered to whether it's catered to real estate, whether it's catered to e-com, in other different industries, right? You've kind of had to, if you were to use those platforms, you kind of had to like customize it yourself to where it fits your business. And so I think the cool thing with you guys is like your focus, even though you do focus with work with attorneys and other businesses, but the platform specifically for services notaries. So I'm pretty sure, like I said, the impact has been profound so far. I would assume. Well, I'm going to assume.
I think we're the first of its kind, with all encompassing the way that we are. We're a marketplace. We just recently launched a directory, public facing, to help get notaries more work. And outside of accounting tools, we have outreach tools for text and email,
Mm-hmm.
websites. I mean, websites you can build from your phone, like from the app on your phone, which is
Yeah.
ridiculous. Notaries are piecing together Calendly and a Wix product or a GoDaddy product and an accounting tool over here. And,
Doing cool stuff.
and we just put it in one place. So I think it's very unique, in that sense. I think we're the first to do it, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. It's really cool stuff you guys got going on over there, man. It is always good to have those tools in place where you can work, it allows you to work faster, because like I said, I've been in the business since 2017, and when I first, I'm pretty sure it's kind of like with you. I think we have more. I think when I first started, yeah, I think we had to start to have a little bit more directories and start the signing platforms started to come along. But now I feel like with like platforms like yourself and these niches that's being known, been put out there to the public within the notary industry, it puts you in a position to where like now, like say, you don't have to again rely entirely on loan closings only. Um, Utilizing tools like Calendly and like I use that to book my estate plan signings or for my general notary assignments. And those assignments, they just come in. Like I don't really have to do much.
Yeah, that's the point. Make it as easy as possible, hands off. I mean, the future of all business is automation.
Yes.
So that's where we're trying to head. And while even we might not have all of that put together right now, we have a lot put together, but we have
Mhm.
a lot in the roadmap, our private roadmap. that I'm pretty excited about. But even which you'll hear about.
Yeah.
I can't launch it right now. Um, but we even connect with other tools if we need to.
Mhm.
We have companies right now that are using like more advanced CRMs,
Yeah.
which like Go High Level is one, and
Mhm.
there's a lot of people reselling it, and we have a version of it. But the cool thing about us doing it is we're developers, so we can build custom development from the CRM into the order fulfillment system. So we have people running ads through their systems, and then from those ads, collecting orders, and those orders auto port to our scheduling automation, and it goes out and schedules automatically. And so it's pretty cool.
Man, that's some pretty cool stuff, man. You don't even have to answer the phone these days, even though notary's done. I mean, even though notary should answer the phone, but if you set up your system in a way of like you just explained, I mean, who wouldn't want that? Who wouldn't want inbound business that you don't have to necessarily go out and hunt for, where it just absolutely comes to you, and then you have the tools and think have the tools in place where it just keeps coming in, just keeps coming in. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, you
it's pretty cool stuff, man. Man, I think more and more notaries should really get with the wave, not even get with the wave, like really get educated on automation and how to be more efficient in your business. Because I mean, man, can you imagine? Still people here that still notaries that don't have a website. It's like,
Yeah, that's crazy. So yeah, you can launch a website so easily using Closewise. There's other tools out there, but you can launch one with 20 minutes with Closewise, and
yeah,
it's what you need when you're getting started. Um, but I do say that like I don't think that automation is going to replace the sales process completely. I think that
yeah,
people still need to be on the phone. They still need to
hmm
be harnessing relationships.
hmm
There's no robot that's going to be able to take in a customer's unique situation and then understand what price point you can charge,
hmm
well, maybe in the future, but not right now.
yeah,
So the a big thing for notaries, while we can give you all of the back end infrastructure you need
hmm
to grow and scale your business, you still have to have a business mindset and be out there harnessing relationships.
yeah, yeah. You can't eliminate the human factor, like I said, because I mean, people are still going to be accustomed to people. They want to feel more comfortable with folks as opposed to using machines. Can that you got to factor that in at all times until further notice, of course.
Yeah.
So one of the question I always like to ask entrepreneurs that's on the show is, I mean, what's your vision? Where do you see Closewise in the next, 3 to 5 years?
I hope that in the next 3 to 5 years, we just keep improving, enhancing the product. I hope that um, the education piece is something that we want to start pushing towards
Mhm.
with either ourselves and partners, or however we can do it. Because I think education, without the education, you're not going to go it's very hard anyways to go far without the knowledge.
Mhm.
Trying to learn it all yourself is very difficult. And if I'll be honest, I think that commoditizing knowledge has become a big thing in the past 5 years in this industry.
Yeah.
And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I think people should get paid for their time, but I think sometimes um, we should share some of that knowledge a little bit more willingly. So we hope that we can put some stuff out there to help people get started, or at least understand the building blocks of jump starting a business.
Mhm.
You've probably heard some notaries out there that'll get started and might get sold on it, which is great. It's a great industry to be sold on.
Yeah.
But then they get started and they sign up for this or that, and then they're stuck. They don't know what they're doing from there. So
Mhm.
that education piece on those daily steps and daily checklists, something that we hope to push to help people grow. Because if you're successful, we're successful. So it makes sense for us
Right.
to help you do that.
So for someone, what would you recommend for someone that's just getting started or trying to stay organized? I mean, what would you say? What would be something you feel like what would be your opinion? What do you think they should do first?
Well, for free, if you're worried about money, I would say get your basics, get your stamp, get your printer,
Mhm,
get your basic materials, and
mhm,
then sign up for every free database you can.
mhm,
And then you can use Closewise's free tools. You don't need to pay if you don't have a budget for it and you're still building. And
mhm.
then get out there and start putting out flyers, get in your local community, pick up the phone and call people. Um, that's it. All the things that you can do for free, get out there and do that. If you have a little bit of a budget, like
Yeah,
I think right now we still have a promotion going on where you can sign up for Closewise uh, for free for 30 days, launch a website for free, and then it's $27 a month after that, which it's usually 47, but
Steve.
it's a steal. So if you have a budget for it, ask us about that promo if it's still running when you hear this. But get all you can out of free, and then if you have the budget for it, you need to get your online presence up because your
Yeah.
online presence is everything now.
Yeah, if you don't have online presence, to me, you're non-existent.
Right. Yeah, you need a place for people to find you. If somebody calls you, you need a place for them to book your service. Um, so get online.
Yeah. And that's another question I want to ask, man. I mean, who inspires you? Who inspires you in business? I'm just curious.
Um, I listen to a lot of podcasts.
Okay.
So like
Same here. Same here.
listen to a lot of podcasts. Because listening, we don't have always have the time to hang out with our fellow entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah.
So listening to a podcast is almost like that relationship, and sometimes because you hear similar struggles from people. So podcasts inspire me. When I get a chance, my friend groups, I try to keep a good friend group. Um, my parents, definitely. My mother was always she was a go-getter businesswoman, never even had a GED, never had even had a GED. Didn't graduate
Mm.
high school, but when she had to, she started a business and she did what she could with it. And that was really inspiring. I'm also a member of a couple of different communities. One's the South Carolina Research Authority, so that's where I'm from.
Okay.
Um, and they have a lot of good entrepreneur networks. So being around other entrepreneurs is inspiring in general. And also I have a daughter, so I don't really have time to even think about being inspired. I just have to do it.
Same,
Yeah.
same. You got no choice but to get to it.
Yeah, you don't need inspiration when you got to take care of a kid.
Yeah, that's a fact, man. Look, man, I appreciate you, man, for being here on the show, man. But I got one last question I gotta ask, man. Was there any questions that excuse me, were there any questions that I left out that you were expecting me to ask?
No, I don't think so. I think we're good. I honestly
Mhm.
would like to even hear more about your story, but yeah, we can save it for another one.
Oh yeah, man, we do part two.
Yeah, let's do it.
Do it, man. Where can the people find you? Where can they get started?
So you can get started by going to closewise.com and going to the login and registration page. If you sign up for a free account, you're going to get a welcome email, and directly in that welcome email, you can contact our support team,
Mhm.
and you might even get me. So, because I'm very involved.
Yeah.
So, reach out to support@closewise.com if you have any questions, concerns, and we're happy to answer those.
Let's get it, man. This episode was brought to you by Stamper Signings. Stamper Signings is a nationwide notary service that specializes in notarizing estate documents. If you're a notary that's watching this video and you're looking to join that network, make sure you go to www.closewise.com because that is a signing platform. That is our preferred signing platform that we use to send out signing requests. I've been incredibly happy with what Tyler and Closewise what they brought to the table, and I'm very excited for what the future brings for both of our companies. And until next time, you guys, peace.